Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a Boeing 737 pilot, and in this video I'm going to show you why it is so important to keep your phraseology to the standards and pronounce everything as it is supposed to be pronounced. After this video you will understand why some procedures are drawn up in the way they are and why some communication is done the way it is. Now, this is going to be especially important for those of you flying on VATSIM, but the rest of you will surely be able to learn something from this as well. Let's start with a quick demonstration here, however, before we are going to talk about what actually happened and why it happened. So, let's go. PMDG 737, you are cleared to your destination via the Maroon 6 Foxtrot departure, climb via SID, flight level 70, squawk 1234. Okay, PMDG 737 cleared to destination via Maroon 6 Foxtrot departure, climb via Esati, flight level 70, squawk 1234. Okay, Maroon 6 Foxtrot, but climb via Esati. Let's put that in. Okay, like this. Okay, he said climb by Esati. Yeah, we'll do that. Execute, and we will ask him about the further routing in flight. Okay, you saw what just happened there? Right, let's fix that and go on with our second example. Okay, PMDG 737, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff. Okay, clear takeoff 25 center, PMDG 737. Stabilized, set takeoff thrust. $80 knots. Checked. Rotate. Gear up. Positive rate. Engine fire. Okay, state malfunction. We have an engine fire switch illuminated on the left engine. Okay, confirm the left engine is the right engine? Yeah, it is. Okay, right engine shut down. And at this point, I'm going to freeze the simulation. Did you notice what just happened? Confirm the left engine is the right engine? Yes, it is. Okay, right engine shutdown. So, communication is a very important topic in aviation. Clear and concise information cannot be overstated in this. So let's talk about a couple of the basics that I want to point out in this video. And in order to do so, let's start by looking into the first scenario. It is standard phraseology in Germany to say the phrase climb via SID, via SID, to flight level so-and-so. That basically indicates that we want to, or that the controller wants the airplane to comply with all speed and altitude restrictions that are part of the standard instrument departure. The phrase climb via SID was therefore introduced in order to clarify if pilots should obey those restrictions or not. Now, initially, some, or rather many, pronounced the phrase SID as SID. And in a real-world scenario here in Frankfurt, a crew took off from Frankfurt Airport and they misunderstood the climb via SID as climb via Esati, which is a waypoint that is very close to Frankfurt Airport. And therefore, instead of doing that right-hand turn, as we should have done it in this scenario, the crew did a left-hand turn and flew right into the departure sector of runway 18. And that's why it is so important in this case, clear communication on part of the controller, who should have said climb via SID. You cannot confuse that with ESATI. And then, of course, the crew, when they misunderstood something, should have called the controller to clarify. Now let's talk about the second scenario that we've just seen. This is also based on a real-world example of something that happened in a different aircraft type, as far as I'm aware, where a crew encountered an engine failure. And this is, by the way, also the reason why in the Boeing 737, Boeing uses the terms engine number 1 and engine number 2 instead of left and right engine. Now, the terminology between left and right varies between different aircraft type and different airlines, and the reason for that is that with number 1 and 2 there is also a certain risk for confusion, but it is less than it is with the engines called left and right. So what just happened over here, and what happened in real life as well, a crew got an engine fire or an engine failure after departure, and when the captain asked to confirm the engine that was failed, the pilot monitoring correctly spotted the left engine. So he called out the left engine. But then the captain asked, so confirm the left engine is the right engine. Now, this comes down to a double point here. What the captain meant is confirm the left engine is the correct engine. But the term right in English language obviously does not only mean the right hand side, but also it is a synonym for the word correct. So the captain wanted to ask, confirm the left engine is the correct engine. But from that, the first officer understood, confirm the left engine, and then is the right engine. Now, if you look at some languages in some parts of the world, if those people speak English, they would typically leave out a couple words because they are just not used in their local language. And that ended up in confirm the left engine is the right engine. So that could be understood by the first officer in that case as, no, it's not the left engine, it is the right engine. That is something you hear, for example, especially often from Spanish and Italians, who just say, oh, is that engine? Because apparently in their languages, you just don't say, no, it's confirm the left engine, no, it is the right engine. No, they would just say, is the right engine. And that way, the first officer, who was apparently overwhelmed by the situation, then reacted and shut down the functioning right-hand engine. And the results of that have been captured by dashcam footage of the airplane going down. Okay, so what can we learn from this? Well, the important point to take away here is to do clear and concise communication. When there is standard phraseology defined, then do make good use of that. A good example would be the engine failure case over here, where the standard phraseology would have been state malfunction, and then, okay, engine number 1, blah 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 blah, fire switch illuminated, engine fire, engine number 1. And then the captain would not have to say confirm left engine. Only then, when you come to the memory item, you put your hand on the thrust lever, you say confirm thrust lever number 1. And that just makes it less prone to error. The same goes if you are unsure about any communication. If something you hear doesn't fit what you think to hear, then absolutely question it. There are 4 sides to each communication, and in aviation we basically only rely on a single one of them, which is hearing what the other person says. Body language, very limited in a cockpit. Pronunciation and trying to put a certain voice or feeling in your words might very well be eaten up by the garbling of the radio or by the bad quality of the intercom in the cockpit. So, the thing I want you to take away from this for your flight simulation experience is especially important for flying on the online networks like VATSIM, IVAO, Pilot Edge, you name it. And the important point here is, if you are unsure about anything the air traffic controller has said, if you're unsure about anything the air traffic controller has done or any clearance he's giving you, do question it. And even if you are not initially unsure, just question if what you've heard is actually what would make sense in that particular situation. I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, then like, comment and subscribe. And if you really appreciate what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Or you can always become a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they are released for everybody else. For now, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.